What's going on, everyone? So the hits keep coming for the Dallas Mavericks as Dereck Lively is officially out for the season, and it's time to start having a real talk about Dereck Lively. I mean, Dallas is going to have to make a tough call and tough decision. So he's having season-ending foot surgery, and again, you're talking about a guy that is once again out for the season. He's only played in, I believe it's like 30 games of the total games available for him to play. Incredible talent, right? He shows promise to be like the best defensive big man in basketball. That run leading to the finals, defensively was one of the most impressive defensive runs from a player ever. And he was a rookie. He's somebody that has all the talent in the world to kind of just be that anchor for a team. And again, at the end of the day, the best ability is availability, right? So per Shams, Dallas Mavericks center Dereck Lively II will undergo season-ending right foot procedure to address lingering discomfort. Sources tell me and Tim McMenamin. Lively, who played 7 games this season, is expected to make a full recovery. Look, it makes sense. Dallas' season is done. They're not coming back. They're not going to I don't see them squeezing into the play-in or the playoffs or anything like that. Their season's a wrap, right? There's already talks about them trading Anthony Davis and very likely are going to Klay Thompson. Basically have a fire sale of this team. Get off of everybody that's not, Cooper Flag. But the thing is, too, is that, if you're Dallas, do you cash in on Dereck Lively? Right? If you're the Indiana Pacers, Indiana right now, based on reports, is trying to find their center of the future. They're not doing anything this year, right? Could you maybe get a good return? Something that maybe makes sense for Dereck Lively? The problem is what value do they have? The problem is, in a normal circumstance, you wouldn't be able to trade him right now because teams aren't going to want to touch him because he's coming off foot surgery. But team like Indiana might look at it and go we're not doing anything anyway this year. If he could be our franchise center, if we get him, work with him through his rehab here with us, and then in the offseason, get him right, get him healthy. There's always a team that thinks that they could do better and they're better health-wise, a medical team and all that stuff, yada, yada. So, it's not crazy to think that, Indiana might give up something, maybe go get Andrew Nembhard to bring in, and then the brothers could play together, right? Have those two with Max Christie. The thing is that Dereck, so you have a team that needs to hit the reset button in the Dallas Mavericks. Absolutely, right? They need to tear it down, rebuild. But you look at this team and it's okay, they have, Nembhard, right? Who again is looking every bit the player that his brother is. So you got your point guard for now and the future. Max Christie is excellent as your 2 guard for now and the future. Right? He's been really good for you, and he's still incredibly young. And then you got Cooper Flag, who can slot into either forward spot, and then Dereck Lively as your center. It's wait a minute, timeout. You might have one of the better kind of foundation pieces and nucleus, particularly on the defensive side, in the league. Right? Dereck Lively, healthy, could have Defensive Player of the Year awards and stuff like that. Cooper Flag, if he projects to be anything close to what he's projected to be, talk about you could have a top player in the league with, a defensive anchor center who's versatile and do multiple things, a legit 3-and-D style point guard, a legit 3-and-D style 2 guard. Go get that young 3-and-D wing. All of a sudden, again, you might have one of the best teams in all of basketball in the next few years. But problem is can you really look at Dereck Lively as one of those foundation pieces? It also kind of throws a wrench in everything because they were considering trading Daniel Gafford. Now, I don't think you can. I don't think you can trade Daniel Gafford. Anthony Davis, yes. I don't think you can trade Daniel Gafford. So now you have to keep Gafford, right? So now you can't get any return or value that you may have gotten for Daniel Gafford. Again, a team like Indiana might have been willing to trade for Daniel Gafford, and now you can't. So it's a tough spot to be in if you're the Dallas Mavericks because it's just you don't have any security, anything proven with them. You traded Luka for less, right? It's just, and you're talking about a guy that has all the talent in the world. and he's still incredibly young, incredibly gifted. He's got all the upside. He when he does play, the guy is a very good basketball player. He's 21 years old. He won't be 22 till February. He's young enough to have been drafted in this year's draft, right? Like, and again, you could have your foundation piece at the center spot, but it's just, unless he just has a miraculous turnaround, which, look, some guys have, right? We've seen guys have foot issues and ankle issues. I mean, Steph, right? There's a point in time where people thought Steph was cooked and you needed to trade him and all that stuff, and then he ended up getting right and getting healthy. The problem is, it's a big man, and he's dealing with a foot issue, right? That usually is not a good precursor to the future of their franchise. I mean, we've seen like guys like Greg Oden and stuff like that, like go down because they just can't get right. Like, usually when the big men start having those feet and knee issues, like that's when it's like, uh-oh, this guy might be cooked. And, Dereck Lively, it'd be great as like a bench big. They give you rotation minutes, but like, can he give you more than 30 games? Like, because that's all he is at that point. Like, if he's only giving you 30 games a season on a good year, then you're basically paying him $5 million a year just to be a rotation big, and you're hoping he's healthy come playoff time and can be a difference maker. He no longer becomes your foundation piece. He no longer becomes your cornerstone. So, again, I mean, we've seen guys like Andrew Bynum is somebody that comes to mind, right? Had those injuries early on and then was able to kind of get right and win multiple championships. And then there was a point in time where it was like, him and Dwight Howard were the two best centers in basketball. So, maybe you could do something similar with Dereck Lively, where it's like, Lively, if he can kind of get himself right and healthy, maybe call LeBron and have, LeBron send him to that what was that German doctor or whatever that fixed his foot. I don't know. It's just, what do you do with him if you're Dallas? I think personally, first I'm calling Indiana and I'm asking, like, what would you give up for him? Just to see. Two, right? Like, if not, as soon as he gets healthy, right? Like, say he plays 20 games next season, right? Like, or let's say he plays up until this point now, and you start getting to like December, I'm making phone calls. I'm putting the word out to Shams and people that like, hey, Dereck Lively's on the trade block type thing. We're listening to calls, right? This is what I'd be doing. And you get a good offer, I'd take it. Because it's just, do you really want to trust that he's going to get right? Look, if he does and he's great for somebody else, good for you. You applaud it. You tip your cap to him. But if you're Dallas, I just don't think you can take the risk. I don't. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Else, not, so we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.